When I went to law school, I went at night. So I worked during the day and I drove into the city at night. And night school is a little bit different than day school. Day school, it's younger kids.
Mhm.
Night students are more mature, working. Some have children, families, and whatnot. And so they treat us differently. And so if you remember, Chris, when you went to school, you had to take certain classes that you weren't interested in, like one I use all the time, biology. You're not going to be a biologist, but they make you take
Hey, I was
biology.
gonna be a doctor. I loved biology.
All right, well, bad example. Okay, uh, Tibetan philosophy. All right, how about something like that? Anyways, okay, same thing in law school. So when you go to law school, they make you take those basic classes, and everybody has to take them. And then at the night school, there was maybe 40 or so of us in the class.
Mhm.
And once you get through those basic classes, what you do is you pick the classes in which you're going to pursue later as your career. I was just going to be a tax attorney. So in those basic classes, were maybe 40 of us or so. In those tax classes, there was 6 of us because not too many people want to have want to be tax attorneys. It's very tedious. It's not glamorous in any way, and you have to have certain types of degrees before you can be a tax attorney. You just can't say I'm a tax attorney. It doesn't work
Mhm.
that way.
Mhm.
So we recognized this, and we knew we were going to go through school taking the same classes. So we picked our classes, went from class to class to class together, study together. Everybody graduates, everybody goes to their different jurisdictions, everybody passes the bar. And we recognize that federal tax law is no different in any jurisdiction, whether you live in Texas or Illinois or well, it's federal, right?
Mhm.
So what we did is back in the day before Zoom and meetings and the whole thing, and before the internet for the most part, we would have a conference call and we every Saturday morning, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, where we would discuss the different cases we had seen the week before, revenue rulings, criminal regulation changes, commissioner letters, all kinds of things, just to stay on top of this stuff
Mhm.
because tax law is very expansive. I don't know if you've seen an Internal Revenue Code book lately; it's like this big, um, and it's ever changing. Now we just go online and I can look anything up,
Mhm.
right? So, but back then to do it, we put this little support group together. Well, a couple of years in, one of the guys says, "Hey, we should look at this estate planning stuff." And we were kind of like laughing at him, like, "Why would we want to do that? I mean, we're the top of the heap. We're the, I don't know, we're the emperors. That's for like a jester or something. Like that's a terrible analogy. But anyways, he some tax attorneys are pretty arrogant. I'm not. I know my place. And he persisted, and what we did was
First of all,
is
I'm
we
supposed to say you're not arrogant, not you. But
well, that's true.
let me just underscore, you are not arrogant.
Okay, good, I appreciate that very much. So, so what we did is we took on the project of putting together our own estate planning documents, and it took us about 10 years of using best practices from all these different jurisdictions to come up with 7 different categories of estate planning. And each one is different. There's similarities, but they're different. So category 1 is you're single, no kids. Category 2 is you're single, minor children. Category 3 is you're single adult secondary beneficiaries. Category 4 is you're married, minor children. Category 5 is you're married, adult secondary beneficiaries. Category 6, you're married, no children. Category 7 is any of the below with a special needs child or children.
Mhm.
And we fit those into specific categories, and it's a little bit different. Like those attorneys that use that word processing program, they type that stuff in, it spits the documents out. They have no they can edit it, but they won't do it. With ours, the way that we put it together is we have color coded provisions based upon the category. What I do is I marry those color coded provisions within to another document that ends up being the trust and the
Mhm.
supplemental trust documents. So it's specific to each client.